Welcome to objective number 4. Beware of riders on perfectvariableannuity.com. You've gone through, or you haven't, you jumped right to this one because maybe riders is something that you're interested about. But I think that when you look at this, we don't have time in this video format to go through all the riders, the ins and outs, the whys and the why nots. But what I want to do is kind of give you just a broad overview of what riders are and why they were ever created on a variable annuity. I titled this particular objective that hitchhikers are not allowed. And I call riders hitchhikers. In other words, they're hitchhiking along and they're taking your money. They're along for a free ride, and it's not really the best objective for your money overall. And I'm not a big proponent of these in variable annuities. Riders belong on fixed annuities. If you look at fixed annuities, that's where you should buy a guaranteed income rider. That's where you should buy a guaranteed death benefit rider. That's where you should buy all the riders that you ever wanted to have, whether it's for legacy planning or long-term care or, for income. I mean, those riders all belong on fixed annuities, not variable annuities, because when you look at the fee composite that are charged by these riders to a variable annuity contract, it becomes very damaging to the contracts over time. And, I put the first point down here on beware of riders, that guarantees have a price. And that's exactly what they do. They have a price. Let's go to the most commonly referred to rider on a variable annuity, which is the guaranteed income rider. When you look at the guaranteed income rider, what are we talking about? We're talking about nothing more than a rider that's attached to a policy that guarantees to you, based on a percentage rate of return, a guaranteed income at some point into the future. Most variable annuities, and I emphasize the word most, not all, when you buy these riders, it's a 10-year rider. In other words, that you're looking out that they're going to guarantee you, let's say 5% or 6% for 10 years. How does that work for you? It works based on the fact that I'm just going to use $500,000. We put $500,000 into a variable annuity, and we're going to use 6% as the compounding effect over 10 years. And what we're looking at is that when we get out there, that it's going to basically be worth $909,698. In other words, our annuity will accumulate or amass that much money over that period of time. Now, so what we're looking at essentially is that we're guaranteed that amount. Now, here's the question that I have. Can you take that out of the annuity? In other words, is it your money? The answer to that is emphatically no. It is not your money. It is the insurance company's money. What they're doing is for you paying them a percentage of the asset, they're guaranteeing to you an income benefit based on that amount of accumulation. So in other words, when they say it's worth $900, I'm just going to use 910, I'm going to round it off, that you have $910,000, what you have is $500,000 plus whatever the actual market performance has been during that 10-year period of time. If we went back from 2000 to 2009, during that 10-year period, your return on the market, if you own the S&P 500 index, would have been zero. So the greater amount would be the guaranteed income benefit, which is the $910,000 would be worth obviously more than $500,000. The problem is that if you want to surrender the contract, you only get the market performance, which is $500,000. You do not get the income benefit. The income benefit has to be turned on, annuitized, and or done through a guaranteed withdrawal benefit. So it has to be either annuitized or through a withdrawal, one or the other, and that's the only way to get at that additional $410,000 that was guaranteed to you that you paid a fee for. It's not your money. And that, I can't, the reason I'm so emphatic about that is I can't tell you how many people who walk into my office or see me at a conference and talk to me and say, Jim, you're wrong. It is my money. It is not your money. I'll be happy to do a conference call with you to the insurance company, and we'll figure out that it really isn't your money. So what is the important part is that when you buy a guaranteed income benefit rider is that you understand that the rider is only for the income benefit. Bottom line, no more said, done. Average cost is 90 basis points to 125 basis points, so 9/10 to a 1.25% different. It's based on whether you're single, married, all those things come into play. So we're going to use 1% as a fee basis is there, and that's what they're going to charge you each and every year of the assets that you have in the annuity. There is no free lunch for anything. There never has been. There never will be. There is no free lunch. So the other rider that's commonly on here is what's called a guaranteed death benefit rider, which is a mortality and expense fee, which is taken on a glorious term of guaranteed principal. And what you're looking at is you're going to get your money back. And the only way you get that is if you die. So your heirs are the one to guarantee to get it back. The average mortality expense fee is over 1.25%. But again, I'm going to use 1%. So you got 1% for the M&E expense. You got 1% for the guaranteed income benefit rider. Now, there's other riders that you can tag on to this, which is a guaranteed principal benefit, which is costing about 60 basis points. You can add 4, 5, 6 different riders. The average person is adding 2 to 3 riders on the contracts that I review, and what we're seeing is the average cost is around 2 to 2.5% per year. That doesn't include the mutual fund fees. That doesn't include the administrative fees. That's just the rider fees. So in other words, if we tack on another 1% for the mutual fund fees and or the money management fees, I keep calling them mutual funds. They are not mutual funds. They are investment pools called units. You buy units of these investment pools, and you essentially are getting charged to manage that money. So if we say 1% there and 2.25%, 2.5% for the other fees, that's 3.5% before you get going. That's before you get out of the gate. That's what you're paying in fees. That's why I say that hitchhikers are not allowed. I don't like riders on variable annuities. If you want a guaranteed income rider, buy a fixed annuity. If you want a guaranteed death benefit, buy a life insurance policy. I mean, those are the things to me that matter the most, is that when you invest in a variable annuity, you're buying the variable annuity because you understand you're buying stocks and bonds. You're buying into the equity markets. You're buying with the purpose of tax-deferred growth. You're not buying a guaranteed income. You do that other ways, and I'll be happy to show you how to do all of that, but I'm emphatic about that in every objective because I cannot tell you the number of times that people tell me they bought a variable annuity for income that I want to puke. And as my friend Stan the Annuity Man says, it creates vomitility. It just really is not what you're trying to do with these. And all the ads are built that way. I mean, when you look at ads in the paper, they talk about the guarantees. They talk about all the things that are out there, this, that, and the other, and every which way of Sunday. They benchmark the portfolio every day. We rebalance, blah, 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 and I want to throw up. The focus is point number one, objective number one, which was tax-deferred growth. Objective number two, actively manage the money for growth. Objective number three, create maximum income from managing the money and converting it to guaranteed income. Objective number four, avoid the penalty box. In other words, in hockey, they stick you in the penalty box. That's what riders are doing. They're penalizing you, and they're keeping your money from doing and maximizing the growth benefits. And I'm saying this because if you want the guarantees, there are other ways to get it. It doesn't sizzle like bacon the way that some annuity companies sell these things, but that's too bad. my point is that it's your money. Manage it, focus it based on what you want to do, not what somebody else wants to do, but keep it to the point of where you're trying to get to. Beware of the fine print. Understand how these things work. If you buy a guaranteed income benefit rider and you don't follow the rules, you lose the income. I mean, they're gonna adjust these portfolio values. There's penalties involved, and I don't have time to get into all the nuances of these things. But understand, they are not exactly what they are cracked up to be. So be cautious. Understand that riders are for fixed, growth is for variable. Riders are for fixed, growth is for variable. That's the way I see it, and that's a lot of me just digging into these things, studying, looking, what if, what, how do I want this to work for me. This is about me. This is one time in your life. You got to be selfish. It's your money. Manage it based on what you want it to do, and that's as simple as it possibly can get. So keep the riders off of the variable annuity contracts. Leave the riders for the fixed annuities and use the contracts for what they were designed to be. And, I wish that if you take the time, and we'll continue to produce videos on this, and we'll start breaking down riders. But Stan, the Annuity Man, and I have done a radio show called theannuityshow.com. You can go to that website, annuityshow.com. And there are, I don't know how many audio components out there at this point. There may be 8, 10, 12 of them. But we keep doing them every week. And there are 3 or 4 of those that I know that we've produced on riders and breaking those down and how they work. I encourage you to go grab those audio files and listen to them. All the radio show titles are out there, so it'll specifically address the riders. And then we're on the air every Wednesday. We reproduce a new one, and you can listen to that. We're syndicating the show across the United States, so you'll be able to find that somewhere in your local market. If not, you can always go to annuityshow.com, log on to that, and you can see that. If you want to learn more about fixed annuities, you can go to stantheannuityman.com, and he has videos on how fixed annuities work, how single premium immediate annuities, index annuity, regular fixed annuities, how they work, why they work, and what purposes they work for. And he explains very well why riders belong on fixed annuities and not variable annuities. And so we launched the Perfect Variable Annuity model and website so that you have the opportunity to really understand how to maximize the benefits of a variable annuity and how to use them for you. And one thing you have to avoid is the sizzle of the 5%, the 6%. Oh, you're guaranteed to get this no matter what the market does. Only if you convert it to income. What the market does matter. Manage your money. Don't just, I wish I could, just grab some people sometimes and shake them and get them to understand you do not put your money in a product without the objective being to make money. I understand guarantees, understand all those things, but you still want to manage the money. And here's the question I've got. If someone is offering you a variable annuity as a solution to your investment portfolio, and they don't believe that they can manage the money and make more than 5% to 6% per annum on your money, why are they offering it to you to start with? They should be telling you to do something else, and you should run because, professional money managers believe with all their heart, and I'm one of them, that have a deep conviction that they can make 5, 6, 7, 8% on money, manage risk, and not subject the client to stupidity of market volatility. You have to understand the management process. Most of you have never really been subjected to really quality money management. You've had people who wear a costume for Halloween called money management, but it's not real money management. So the key here, objective number 4, beware of riders. Don't allow hitchhikers on your variable annuity. Get them off of it, get out of it, do something, but don't keep them. So objective number 4, Pay very close attention, and thanks for tuning in to the Perfect Variable Annuity.